of course, Tish is going to make Michelle Frank throw the first ball.
That's pretty normal for Tish. I think she usually does choose that option.
Because she likes to finish first? Is that, because if she starts second, she'll finish first?
Right. I always look at it, start first, finish last. So she wants to make her have all the pressure.
And coming high in her opening shot, we talked about how she'd handle the pressure. She is the story. It's her first telecast against all of these veterans. And so you think Tish is doing it just for the point of making Michelle have to get up in the 10th? Should she have to mark, she'd be the last one bowling.
I think she is, but there's one thing about Michelle you don't know. She is used to match play. She is used to a do it now or get out attitude. So I think she'll be there.
And an unfortunate way to start, but she'll sit down now and regroup. Hopefully she got her nerves out of her system. Tish Johnson is going eeny, meeny, miny, mo, deciding which ball she wants to throw. After all that practice, does that happen to you sometimes on TV? You still don't know what you want to do by the time you start?
All the time. You have to consider different atmospheric conditions, everything. Weather, the lights, the heat, and nerves. There's a big point right there.
Tish coming up light. She's from Northridge, California. 22 titles, as you saw at the top of the show. She's been around quite a while. This is her 5th show this year. Already won title this year, the AMF Lubbock Texas Open. She won the opener of the season. Covered her spare. Now Tish elects to hook the ball at her spares.
Right. Some players do that, and if you've got a good control of the lane, that's not a bad idea, especially if the spare's in the middle of the lane. Not a good idea if she would be going at, say, a 7-pin. Better throw a little bit harder, a little bit straighter.
Well, Tish is up by 11 by virtue of the open by Michelle Frank. Messenger just a little bit short.
I tell you.
We saw her leave a lot of these last night, Lisa, in the position round game.
Position round game, she left 9 counts. She had 1 strike, 9 counts, and got in to the top 5 with that.
Right, she still moved from 6th to 5th.
Yes. She was in 11th place going into the last round. Come on.
Quite a move. Now, Michelle Frank also was not in the telecast going into the last match. She was in 7th going in and moved all the way to 4th.
And as a point, she was never lower than 7th in the entire tournament. That's how good she bowled this week.
And didn't win a lot of matches. Oh, and again high. She's just a little bit tentative with her shots.
I think she's a little bit slow, and one good point for her was to stay aggressive, and I think, you know, the first few frames that you come out, you tend to be a little bit slow, and she'll regroup and get started.
Go for the wood, and she did. Somebody in the crowd was yelling.
Here we see Michelle Frank. She has a classic style. Long first step. But you're going to see a good finish, good extension. Look at the knee bend. It's always a good point for every bowler out there. It's how you create power, and you can get good direction that way.
And we talked about how well she bowled this week, as now she trails by 21 pins. Trailing this match, it's nothing new to her. She only won 9 matches out of 24, which, in my recent recollection, is one of the lowest match play records to make a telecast.
Correct. And as I said before, never below 7th this week. Coming up light. Right now, she's still looking. The lanes were tough this week, Jan. The scores weren't overly high, and she's just going to feel things out right now.
Well, she covered her spare, the first one that was really a very makeable spare, and she took care of that. Tish wants to get out to a big lead here. She doesn't want to give Michelle a chance to get comfortable. And again, on those corner pins. Now, she said last night she was moving, trying to carry.
And what good is that going to do?
I think she might be making very small moves, but she also knows that if she tries to move to adjust for carry, you might lose the pocket and get in trouble. So, especially in a week like this, better to hit the pocket, take the 9 spare, move on, hope something happens.
Well, especially if you know your opponent is not really lined up yet.
Right.
Better off to just stay in the pocket. Sometimes that's a hard choice for the pros. I want people at home to feel like that. Especially covered her spare. Change of fault to shoot that spare. But you have a decision to make when you're playing whether you need to try to make big moves to go for score or whether you need to stay where you're at, grind it out, and shoot your spares. And that's always a hard choice.
Well, I think it depends on what your competition's doing, on, let's say, how the lane conditions are. If the scores are extremely high, you got to take a gamble. You have to have an open mind about it and just basically go for it.
Over. I thought for sure she'd carry that one after leaving the good shot of 7 pins. Playing with the crowd. Now, maybe she did make a move trying to carry.
She may have. Tish is always good with the crowd. Tish is very friendly. Never met a person that she didn't like. And then she's always a crowd favorite.
She leads by 19 right now. Converts yet another 7 pin to maintain that 19-pin lead. It's early in match 1, though. Stay tuned for more.
And I don't know about you, but I enjoy watching those weeks. When the scores are tight and you have to make good shots, I enjoy that. And there you saw, much better shot.
There she bows to the pins for the trip on the 6th.
Coming up pretty high here, looking for the trip 6. She gets it.
She thought it was going high, didn't she?
Yes, she did.
Michelle Frank up in the 8th, working on a double, and increases her lead to 16 pins. She's been tough all week, and she said she could get herself into this.
3 identical shots right there by Michelle.
You know that mistake she made getting it right? I think she found something.
I think it was a blessing for her, wasn't it? I think she learned something from that.
Well, that's a good reason, and this is a tip. Make sure you watch your ball reaction, even if you think you've made a bad shot, because you may find something you didn't know was there.
Absolutely.
Ooh, and leaving the 10-pin.
It was a good shot. Just a corner pin, but it was a good shot.
That one finishing harder than the others.
And you saw the 6-pin wrap around the 10. She needs to keep her head in the game here, make the spare.
Ooh, and a little problem with her footing, but keeps her arm on line to her target. She's given us a lot of little lessons here because that's something I know I hear at home a lot, and I say myself sometimes. But if you have a little trouble with your footing, if you can keep your arm on line, you can still execute your shot.
And a lot of that comes from concentration.
That was a key shot. Tish Johnson needed that double, and again the 7-pin.
Not a bad shot at all. Just a little bit of a weak 7, but she's lined up now.
Okay, Tish is going to step up in the 10th frame. She will finish first. The best she can shoot here would be 188.
That's a punt.
Do you believe in soulmates?
I have never wanted anyone more.
You don't want to go falling in love with a guy like me.
No safety net. I got you.
Catch these movies and more before they disappear on the Zumo Her free movies channel.
$10,000.
I'm the one that's trying to hold this family together.
Catch these movies and more before they disappear on the Zumo free Black Cinema channel.
You've been selected.
You're crazy.
You have a sickness.
Catch these movies and more before they disappear on the Zumo free movies channel.
What do you think?
Feel, good.
He's covered his tracks.
It does take a special kind of person to do this job.
Catch these movies and more before they disappear on the Zumo free action movies channel.
My name is James Jackson Dial. I was trained in target elimination. It's gonna be chaotic real quick.
Go, go, go.
Now streaming on the free movies page, only on Zumo Play.
Who is this man?
The FBI is withholding the identity of the assassin who fled captivity last night in a daring escape.
America's Most Wanted.
Streaming free all month long, only on Zumo Play.
Again, the ball just seemed to be skating too long before it made its break. Spare strike will give her 177. Michelle Frank will just need to stay behind the line and get some pin count.
I think she can do that.
Well, Tish Johnson made it to the show. She was happy with that. She took some time off the last couple of weeks. Spent some time with her parents, bought some new golf clubs, did some golfing. You know, sometimes you need to get away. You need to take a little break from bowling.
Yeah, she said that she didn't practice about the last 2 weeks before we came out. But she did do a little bit of golfing. She's an excellent golfer, by the way. And there's a strike. Always they fall in the fairway.
Of course, and she wants to make sure to hi to her dad, Roy. Hope he's doing well. Michelle Frank now steps up. 8 on her first ball would guarantee she wouldn't have to make another shot.
I like that she's taking her time, even in this position. What a good shot. Look at the fire in the eyes there. No wonder they call her Red.
Flamin' Red.
Absolutely.
She's tough. It is amazing to me, Lisa, and I see it every week now, that these new kids, I can call them kids, I guess, are so good out here and so good under pressure. She should be intimidated out there, shouldn't she be?
They have a lot of experience.
Well, 7 was all she needed. Didn't even need that. Michelle Frank defeats the veteran Tish Johnson, and she'll go on to face our reigning bowler of the year, Wendy McPherson-Papanos, right after this. Wendy McPherson-Papanos and Michelle Frank shake hands, and Wendy has elected to start the match.
I think this is a big match for Wendy. She has had a stellar 2 years these past couple of seasons, and I think this is a big night for her. I think she needs to perform well.
Well, it's her first show of the year, which is amazing considering the last couple of years. Opens up with a big strike, and that should send a message to Michelle Frank.
Right, and I think Michelle can answer. She has that blood in her. She's got that match play attitude about her. They received 3 strikes on 15, 1 on 16. She's going to look to correct that.
Coming up light. Now, she's given it a lot of room now, though. She's trusting it.
I think that's good. I mean, the last half of the game, that's where she played them, and she's not going to change anything just yet.
She told us she came in with a good attitude. Now, she got frustrated by not winning matches, but she said Brenda Edwards, her roommate, helped keep her mind in it and helped keep her focused.
And Brenda Edwards is a very positive person also, and I think that helped Michelle quite a bit. You know, she was first after qualifying, and she told us that she felt like everybody was gunning for her, and how pathetic was that?
Yeah, of course they were.
Sliding by.
Yeah, it doesn't look like she's getting a good clean release she was earlier.
And that was a good point for her. She said to us last night that it was very important for her to get the ball off her hand onto the lane cleanly, and that one looked like it hung up a little bit.
Well, sometimes when you win a match, it's your first time on TV, that can get your adrenaline going and can cause all kinds of problems. Almost worse than if you'd lost, because now you have to continue, you have to control your emotions. Takes two, that pin count could hurt her in the end. Wendy's going to step up. She opened up with a big strike, as we said, her first show after her 2-year reign as Bowler of the Year.
I think Wendy looks very relaxed tonight. Much more relaxed than she was maybe toward the end of last year. I think
coming high with that. She told you, Lisa, last night, you asked her, was the pressure getting to her? How tough was it after those 2 years? And she told you it was tough, wasn't it?
Absolutely. She's tired out. The first part of this year, she's been just plain tired, and it's very hard to come back after having 2 great seasons like she has, mentally and physically. It's very tough, but I think she's worked it out now.
Covers the spare nicely. She said expectations were so high, her expectations and others. Other people's expectations of her, and you can relate to that, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
You've been in that position many times.
Absolutely. It is very tiring. Your time is in much more demand than it normally is, and you just feel like you don't have a free minute to yourself. But she did change some things during the break, and I think it's going to help her for the rest of the year.
Wendy leads by 16 pins. Up to the third frame. No problem on lane 15.
Excellent shot. She's playing the lanes like she did during the week, and you got to think that that's a comfortable spot for her. I want to see the ball charging into the pocket. Look at her roll. Her roll is so good and so forceful that there's just not many places that she's not going to strike.
Coming light, you saw a quick look, 290, a high game for this lady, 158, a low game. So you could hit the big pairs, but you could also hit the disastrous ones.
She's got a tough spare now. She has a couple ways that she could miss this, and she's going to have to guard against that. She's using the spare ball. Going to go for it pretty hard, pretty straight.
Tell you what, I hate this spare.
So do I.
And hooks away from it. We saw it working at the end of the first game, but right now she has to take some very negative emotions and turn them around. And it looks like she did just that. No problem turning that one around.
She was much more aggressive on this shot.
Wendy wants to strike here and keep the pressure up. Wendy leads by 27 pins. TV pairage 198. Not a whole lot more than Michelle's was. And light on 16. Lane 16 seems to be a little bit of a problem.
Well, it's a little bit confusing. When the second frame, she left a 3-6-10. She went high. And probably adjusted for it a little bit, and then you come light. But could be nerves, too.
Hard to imagine she could be nervous after all those shows last year. 12 shows, tying the record in 97.
You know, Winnie never finished below 11th last year. That's phenomenal.
And I looked at the stats, and I think she's only been above 11 3 times this year. So what a turnaround. It's amazing how things can happen in this sport or any sport.
Right. Wendy has been bothered by bursitis in her shoulders this year. And I think that that's had a lot to do with it. It doesn't allow her to follow through with the ball quite as strongly as she would like to.
She also wound up with a problem in her timing. She said she couldn't even get started. Didn't even know what foot to start.
I've been there, too. Excellent shot on 15.
There's that emotion.
Right back on track. Right back on track. Michelle Frank throwing it excellent on the right lane.
Ooh, she can take it down to 7 pins here with another strike. But no, coming up high, she missed considerably left on that shot.
And left herself with a tough spare at that.
She left this in her first frame and missed it.
Going high, leaving the 3, 6, 9, 10. Tough spare. She's got to make sure that she gets it to the right, but not so far that she misses the 9.
Same thing that happened the first time she shot it. Well, Wendy McPherson-Papanos has the lead. The conclusion of this match when we come back. Oh, I thought the 7-pin was going to stand. What a tremendous shot that was. She can shut out Wendy McPherson-Papanos.
Boy, she's got to take one shot at a time here. This is where the breathing comes in. She's got to take some good, nice, deep breaths, slow that heart rate down, be able to think and make a good shot.
She still trails by 9. This shot is the one that would give her the lead. first telecast?
No. No. And you know, my first telecast, they were offering not only the top prize money, but a jacuzzi. And I blew it. I blew it.
Wow.
Could have had a jacuzzi.
I know I didn't do it in my first one. Oh, and she almost trips the 2-pin.
Makes it she can have 196. It's going to force Wendy to have the first strike in the 10th.
Right. She would need, Wendy, if she spares this, Wendy's going to need a strike, and a spare would actually tie.
She's going to have
She's going to need a double. This spare is important. That was huge. The final score of 196 for Michelle Frank. Wendy McPherson-Papanos is going to have to get 2 strikes to win this outright. 1 strike and a spare would be a tie. Anything less than a strike on her first ball right here, and she loses.
She only had 1 strike on that lane coming up to this point, and what a good shot.
Well, she still needs another one, or we could have a tie. If she spares here, we'll have a tie. We would go into a 9th and 10th frame sudden death roll-off.
Well, talk about nerve-wracking.
Well,
throw it any better than that.
You can't, and there's the professional, and boy, did she respond.
I think Wendy's back.
Certainly didn't seem like she's been away from TV for the first 6 months of this year. Michelle Frank finishing up in 4th.
What a great week for Michelle. She just performed so good and so cool under pressure.
And what a finish by Wendy McPherson-Papanos. She defeats Michelle Frank.
Well, I think now that Wendy has that game under her belt, I think we can see a little bit more relaxed Wendy. 4 strikes on 15, 3 on 16. Looks pretty even. I think she hasn't figured out.
A little slip there.
And a good break. Not always easy to throw a great shot when you stick or slip at the foul line, so that's a good thing to relax you.
First look today at Leanne Barrett from Pleasanton, California. 30 years pro. 12 years pro, 30.
She's a youngster.
30 years old.
Oh, almost got a break.
We saw that no-nonsense shot of the day. No-nonsense provided pantyhose this week for all the ladies. It was a wonderful treat.
And what a big help that is. We just welcome them so much.
Leanne's going to shoot a spare and try to get comfortable here. She chose to have Wendy start. Leanne will finish the match first. In that group of 65 titles, Leanne Barrett held 18 of them. It's in her second show this year, and also 1 title already this year, the AMF Greater Atlanta Open. These 2 ladies tied in match play. Could that be an omen? Will we see a tie now?
Leanne just has such a classic style. Look at that. She has such good knee bend and such a good reaction on the ball.
She's a strong lady.
Yes, she is. She throws a lot of strikes. And when she started, after the first round of qualifying, she was in 44th place. And, you know, you just basically wouldn't have given her much of a chance to make it. And here she is second.
Wendy McPherson-Papanos match play.
Good record this week, 15 wins.
7 and 2, and that's what put her in the third place position. Well, she's happy to be here. It's been 2 years of a great run and now a drought. And Lisa, you asked her how she turned it all around this week.
Great to change bowling for you.
I just worked real hard. Practice, got a little bit of rhythm back, a little bit of feel. And I also went to grips, which was new to me. I had never in my life ever used grips in my finger holes. So it was a new feel, and it was just something new. I needed a change.
Well, the change appears to be good. And she's still tripping the fours just like she always has for the last couple of years.
Right, she's getting real great ball reaction right now. That's got to relax you when you're going up there to make shots.
Leanne Barrett, I told you earlier, had the highest average this week, 214.17. TV pair average, 241. She liked this pair.
That she used a ball this week that gave her a kick, that it kicked harder on the back end, and she said that she had not been using that for the first part of the year, and went to a ball that finishes more and felt much more comfortable that way. Said that she could make more mistakes and still strike, and who isn't looking for that?
Very deliberate player, takes her time. Make sure she's set. Well, she's set, and look at all these strikes. As Wendy McPherson-DeConnell is stepping up, she's working on the first three. I have to say that MasterCard has an offer up. If anyone shoots a 300, it's a $50,000 bonus.
When your money is spread across multiple accounts, it's hard to see your full financial picture. You can count on Credit Karma to bring it all together. Because when you connect your accounts, you'll reveal new ways to save more, improve spending habits, and pay down debt with extra funds. The more you connect, the more we show you how to grow your money. Download Intuit Credit Karma to get started.
Needs 9 more for $50,000 courtesy of MasterCard.
And with Wendy, it is entirely possible. Unfortunately, maybe next game or next week.
You never know. I suppose that was my fault, but wanted to mention that bonus because that's huge. We saw a 300 last year on TV. Unfortunately, no bonus. This year it's there for somebody to go get.
That's right. Well, you could become leading money winner real quick.
Changed balls and covered that spare. Looks like she might have hung up a little bit.
A little bit. I think she was just relieved to send that ball in the right direction. 245 was tough to make this week.
Interesting after all these years that she just went to grips now.
Right.
It's kind of, you would think she would have tried them sometime earlier in her career.
And what's nice about them is that you get the same feel on every ball. And that's why I use them. That's why I like them.
Crossing over again on lane 15.
I think she just got a little bit quick there. I think Wendy's feet got there a little bit ahead of the ball. Caused her to miss left of her target. That makes it fair. Still well in the match.
Now, Leanne Barrett told us she relaxed a lot over the break. She, in fact, went to Disneyland with a friend and her friend's kids and had a great time.
Said they took a van and went to Disney and spent a few days and just had a good time.
Solid 10-pin, great shot.
See, Leanne's ball, look at the hook that she gets. Look at the rotation. Hooks sharply into the pocket, and any time that you get that sharp of a hook, you're always looking at the possibility of a ringing 10. But it's nothing new to her. She'll make it. Go on. Hit the pocket again.
Well, if you're looking for a fundamental favorite, Leanne Barrett is trying to get the most she can this week because she doesn't know if she'll be able to stay out. Her dad, Dan, is ill. He's on a lung transplant list, and as soon as she gets the call, she's heading home.
Yes.
So we all wish him well.
Yes, Leanne was a little bit worried that she wouldn't be able to get there in time before he would go into surgery, but they've both told her, you just stay out here, you do your best, and things will work out just fine.
And she continues on that max score pace of 269. We're midway through our semifinal match. When we return, the battle continues to see who will face Carol Giannotti Block for the championship. Don't go away. Wendy trailing by 3 pins. We're up in the 6th frame.
Like she may have hung up a little bit on that, and the ball bounced a couple of times before it got into a good solid roll, but what a good result. She's using quite a bit of the lane right now. She's in the hook mode, but as we saw, with Carol Giannotti, Leanne, and Wendy, that worked good this week.
Wendy's trailing by 3. She can take the lead with a strike here. A little bit of a fast 8. A little bit of a bounce again. It is warm in here, Lisa.
Yes,
I don't know if the players are losing the ball or if they're swelling and hanging up in it.
I would say that their hands are swelling a little bit. They probably have to take a little bit of tape out of the ball, get a little better feel. Here we're going to see a couple of bounces before it rolls, and that can have any number of effects on the roll of the ball.
Converts Leanne Barrett up by 3, but working on a strike. She can take it to 13. While we have a minute, I want to thank Mike Germani, the manager here at AMF Parkway Lanes. He did a great job and put together a big group of volunteers. Special thanks to them. They were here all week, providing us with food, drink, helping us whenever we needed it. Thank you very much.
Excellent job. I've known Mike and his family for almost 20 years now. A great family.
However, it's our first time here. Hope we come back.
I do too.
Mike DeFurio Sr., our adult Pro-Am winner from Winewood Lanes in Ardmore. Had a big Pro-Am here. 2 days of Pro-Ams constant. Leanne's up by 13. On a double can make it 23 with one more strike.
Leanne's taking her time, and that's a big point for Leanne. She has to take her time. When she gets rushed, she does not make good shots. So when she takes her time, she can get a good result.
And a big break on that one. Stripping out the 4. That ball was high. She'll say thank you and sit down.
Absolutely. how high that ball was, Jan. I think I saw the 4, 6, 7, 10 standing there for a second.
It was there for just a minute.
Career earnings. Boy, look at that. Almost $700,000.
How that ball just sets up, trips that 4-pin again. You know, Wendy said she tried a lot of things, changed a lot of things, trying to change her luck, even her superstition. She changed them around. Now, when she said that to us last night, Lisa, you said, but you make your own luck. Now, how do you do that? Because I know I want to know, and everyone at home wants to know.
Well, my stats haven't shown it to do good lately either. But how you do it is practice. Hard work, practice. Your swing is going to get loose. Your mind is going to be positive. You make your own luck. Good things happen.
Okay, I'm going to try it.
Well, I know you practice a lot, though.
Leaving a 3-10 split, baby split here.
So hooking up about 10 feet earlier than normal there. That lane may be breaking down.
Could be a fair amount of play now in the same area of the lane.
Excellent spare. Perfect way to convert that. And you notice that she did use the ball that she is throwing on her first ball because she didn't want to risk the chance of sliding by the 3-pin and only getting the 10. So she used the first ball, hooked it in there a little bit.
Good point. Leanne, high game 279, low game 169. Just needs a couple of marks here, really, to shut out Wendy McPherson-Papano. The best Wendy could shoot is 226. Leanne's going at 238 pace if she marks out and fills 20 in each frame.
Well, she has a relatively easy spare here and needs to focus on her shot in the 10th.
Now, talk about luck. Leanne felt she was lucky this week just in the fact of the draw, as did most of the players on the telecast, because she was able to bowl her last round down at the low end of the house. She felt that was a great draw for her.
That seemed to be a plus this week.
Leanne Barrett leading by 22 pins. She's going to step up in the 10th. She's going to need a mark, because if she would go 9 out, she could shoot to 26, and we could have a tie. Mark here will shut out Wendy McPherson-Papano. Time with that shot, and that's the best kind of mark you can get.
That's always good for Leanne to do. When she's taking her time and focusing and thinking, you're going to see that twinkle in the eye, and you know that she's got a pop at winning the tournament.
She said the lower scoring this week was better for her, and I kind of find that strange, because she's a big shooter. She shoots big numbers. You wouldn't think a lower scoring event would be the week it would be better for her.
It is funny, because she said that she can't keep up in the high scoring events. Now, if that's not being able to keep up, I'll tell you, she throws such a powerful strike ball.
And Leanne Barrett defeats Wendy McPherson-Papano and earns the right to face our tournament leader, Carol Giannotti-Block, for the championship. Don't go away.
And I think we're in for a treat here. I think this is going to be a good match.
Whoops. Whoops. And opening shot. A little bit warm. Didn't quite get that off her hand the way she wanted to. This week's average 214.07. She's going to just try for the wood here.
Well, I'm sure Carol's not going to worry too much about the start.
Leanne Barrett said she was happy to be here now. She said in the summer she usually doesn't even make a show. Looks like she has a favorite lane here.
Yes, absolutely. Definitely like 15 more than 16.
And she's going to get the finish on 15. Nice shot on 16, though. Just didn't kick out the 10. She's left that a few times on
Absolutely. That's what we were saying about a ball that hooks in the back end quite a bit. You're bound to leave those. But she knows that at least she's hitting the pocket. She's in control. Make the spare, move on.
She was the 90 and 91 Lynn Shoe Player of the Year. Covers that spare. And as I was saying, summer, for some reason, and she doesn't even know why, it seems to be a bad time of year for her, never makes a show. So she's really happy with this start. And maybe it was because she did all the relaxing over the break.
It could be.
Sometimes you work, and get out here with all these expectations. And when they don't come true, it makes it even harder each week.
Leanne enjoys her family. And that is a big point for her is when she gets home, she likes to spend a lot of time with them.
A lot of players going high on 15 now.
No doubt breaking down just a little bit.
But family's important, and that's a hard thing. And it's hard sometimes to relate to people at home how difficult it is to be on the road for 6 to 8 weeks at a time and not see your family.
All you have is the telephone. And while that's not bad, you miss their company. You miss being with them.
Ooh, somebody helping that one out in the crowd. We're back in the 6th frame. We bowled through a couple of frames. We went away. Leanne Barrett led by 32. She now leads by 28. That's going high 2 frames. Giannotti blocked live in the 6th frame. Carol washed out last time up on this lane, which would have been the 4th. Took 2 of those pins and spared a 10 pin in the 5th. Now coming high again on lane 16. Well, we said she's finished second 4 times this year. You asked her, Lisa, how's she going to beat the second place Blues?
Yeah, I mean, it's on my mind a lot, but what I've said to myself, just really get aggressive. I mean, I've got one game and make every shot aggressive, and hopefully I'll come through.
Well, she needs a lot now, and you have to be very aggressive.
Ball change. Carol switched to a different ball that frame, and look at the result. She slipped a little bit, I think, at the foul line, but that's from being aggressive. Let's see her get a... She's going to be aggressive. And slipped a little bit. Good result, though.
Dice is off the 7. She needs to strike Leanne Barrett up by 31 pins.
Leanne went high both times. On the break, she went high. Look, made the move, went a little bit light.
In fact, she left the 310 on lane 16, put the ball between both pins. So, yes, it can happen.
Clean through it. We got the slow motion view of it here. Didn't touch either one of them. Amazing. I think I've done that about one time in my entire life. And she probably does it once a week.
Probably the way she turns that ball. You can go through those 2 pins. Then went high again on 15, leaving just the 3 pin and spared it. Now making the adjustment. So Carol Giannotti Block is still in this match. Nice putter on the double wood.
Good spare. It was a tough spare this week. Sometimes you could go light on it and you didn't think you were going to. You thought it was going to hook over and it just went straight on the back.
And you see through 7 frames, Leanne Barrett up by 29 pins, but Carol Giannotti Block on a strike. Can take it to 19 when Carol's up, even if Leanne strikes here. Leanne getting a snug fit on that ball. index or pinky.
Gives her a little bit more finger in the ball. More turn that way.
Way to set one up in the 8th.
Good ball change. Ball's finishing a little bit later on the back end. I think the ball she was using before was setting up, was hooking a little bit too early, so a little too straight on the back end.
She just patched up her thumb again. Max score 201. This strike here can take her down to a 9-pin deficit.
Sails by the head pin. That could come from getting a little bit aggressive. Looked like she had a little bit more speed that time.
She's totally missing the head pin, never turning over. She had trouble earlier in the week on Monday, just a little bit too fast she was. Covers the spare. She called home to her mom, Jan, who told her, hey, lengthen your first step, it'll slow you down, which sometimes it works either way. Sometimes you want to shorten it, but that was the advice she got, and it helped her. That being Leanne, Carol Giannotti Block, now Leanne Barrett stepping up in the 9th.
And it just goes to prove you're never out until the last ball, because Carol was 49th after the first round. Leanne 44th, and look where they are.
Well, that pretty much wrapped this championship up.
Great shot here by Leanne Barrett. Trusted it, stayed down, stayed aggressive. That pin action that we're used to seeing from Leanne Barrett.
So about 5 pins here on Leanne's first ball. We'll wrap it up because the best Carol Giannotti Block can shoot is 177. 5 on her first count would give her 178 without another shot.
And it'll be just a matter of time before Carol Giannotti Block gets back on top.
Yet another second place finish this year. That makes 5 of them for $5,000.
I know how she feels. I had more seconds than I had at first at one time.
Well, Leanne happy. She did get all that she could this week in case she has to head home next week, and we hope that she does.
We hope everything turns out well in California with her father.
And she's praying for him to come up quick on that transplant list. It's something special when you can do that, when your family's at home and they're ill and you want to do this for them.
I think that'll be quite an emotional phone call home for Leanne.
Final score of 216 for Leanne Barrett. We're back with your champion of the Lehigh Valley Classic, Leanne Barrett. Congratulations.
Thank you, Jan. I don't know what to say. I'm very pleasantly surprised. I don't know what to say. I'm very happy.
Well, we're going to bring on in Bob Cassis, the regional manager of AMF, to present a trophy and a watch.
Congratulations, Leanne. Great bowling. Some of the crowd had a question. They wanted to know if you planned that trick shot for TV, a new first on TV.
You know, when I left that, I saw that it was a little wide, and I thought to myself, because I do these things sometimes, and I thought this would not be a good time to do something like that, and I could not believe when I go, well, that's not very nice. Thankfully it didn't matter.
Yeah, great bowling, and we'd like to present you with this trophy, and we're very pleased to have you as our first champion here in Allentown. It's a little heavy, so I won't have you lift it. And also, we have a special award that was donated by K Jewelers of Lehigh Valley, this Bulova watch. Congratulations again.
Thank you, Bob. And in comes Tim Dooley, Special Events Manager for AMF, with a check. Tim?
On behalf of AMF Bowling, we'd like to present you with this $9,000 first place check, and congratulations.
Thank you. I'd like to thank everyone here in Allentown. On behalf of all the girls, we're very happy to be here for our first time. I'd like to thank everybody at AMF for all their support of our tour. And I'd like to thank my ball company, Ebonite. They gave me such a good ball this week in my wipeout. I had 3 of them, and it really made the difference.
Well, you did this kind of for your father?
There is so much going on at home right now. It's so hard to leave, and it really means a lot to me.
Well, thanks, Leanne. You were a fine champion. Congratulations. There's your winner of the Lehigh Valley Classic.
Bowling term of the day is a symmetrical versus asymmetrical core in a bowling ball. So just like shapes in geometry, a symmetrical shape means you can fold it in half and it'll be the exact same on each side. Similarly, bowling cores are the same way. A symmetrical core is going to generally hook a little bit later and be a little rounder for what it does on the lane. It's going to have a different reaction than asymmetrical. Bowling balls have to be drilled in a certain way, of course, because they are asymmetrical, but they are generally going to hook earlier. Try to be a little bit sharper too down lane. You can expect a little more angle out of these bowling balls, but they generally want to hook a lot earlier. So make sure you know if your bowling ball is symmetrical versus asymmetrical, because that changes how it's going to react. Like on our Arsenal scales, most asymmetrical bowling balls are in the strong category. Most symmetrical balls are in the medium and weak categories. Now, of course, there's outliers, but that is what symmetrical versus asymmetrical means.
There's the handshake, and they're ready to start the first match. Has elected to start the match, therefore she will finish last. At the young age of 29. Nice opening shot.
Yeah, there's something we saw all week. Jan is pin action. You know, the lane surface wasn't all that easy, but the pin action here is phenomenal. The pins just go everywhere. They dance down there.
That's if you had the right roll and the right angle into the pocket.
Yeah, as always.
Good opening shot by Kim. I think a little inside target there.
Yeah, probably laid it a little short, but that probably is something that is her best asset, is getting it off her hand clean. She really has a clean release with a nice heavy ball roll.
Joyce Terrell, Kim's mother, in the audience here. Kim said she always bowls well when her mom's here.
She's won every time her mother's been to the telecast, and she want to say hello to her father, Owen.
He wishes he could be here. He's out here quite a bit with her also. There's a beauty.
Well, that was 10 flush. That was high flush in the pocket. What a great shot. I just can't even conceive this lady's ready to hang it up yet. But her and Kevin talk, they're going to have a family, so we certainly understand. But she's had a great career. Been on Team USA 2 years. She's won 4 titles out here on tour.
Hold it. Carol's wearing a mic, and if y'all heard her, she said, hold it. And good shot, Carol.
That's what happens when your ball gets out away from your side, and usually that'll happen if you turn the thumb in early. If you get the thumb turned in toward the ankle, the arm pops out, and the ball goes left of target through the nose.
There's one of those averages you spoke about. Carol averaged 225.
Can you imagine that? That's 675 every 3-game series.
Carol flattens it out to shoot that spare. You know, it was interesting as you spoke to different players. People were shooting 300 and 400 over for 8-game blocks, and yet you'd come on another block and you could hit the pocket, but you couldn't carry. So it was real critical, and people would say, how are they shooting that? And then they'd come up the next block and shoot the same thing. Score's all even right now.
I think ball speed this week, Jan, was very critical. And if you was a little fast, you could hang the corners. Had to match the ball speed to the lane surface.
In fact, Carol Giannotti Block said that was one of her keys to stay slow.
Allow the ball to roll in the midsection of the lane so that it could return on the back end. When it got down the back end, it could have that little better angle of entry to knock out the corners.
Kim's first championship round appearance this year, but this is only our 6th tournament this year. We're packed full in the summer and fall. A lot of events coming up.
Well, there shows she left the 4-pin the last time on this lane, but it was a different type of a 4-pin. The first time it was a little left of the target. That time she let it out around, and that ball really turned back toward the pocket. That was a great shot, really.
Oh, my.
Wow, to miss a 1-pin spare, you just won't see that very often at this caliber. We've got 5 champions here today. Look at her. She's devastated. She said, how did I ever do that?
And it was an even match, and that just put her down by 12 pins.
And you know what happens is you get up there once in a while and you don't focus totally. You're still thinking about the 4-pin. Now, I'm not saying she did this, but a lot of us do that. And you get up there and before it's over, you missed a 1-pin spare because you didn't go through the routine.
Jumps right back. Now she has a 7-pin, left side of the lane again.
Made a high-quality shot there. She's got to feel good about that, but watch her now. She'll really take her time. She'll collect herself. She works with sports psychologists. She's a trained, great athlete. She will not allow that 1 spare to catapult into something more than that.
Covers it easily. And unfortunately, because of a missed spare by Kim Kennedy, Carol Giannotti Block now has the lead through 3 frames by just 12 pins. Don't go away. Carol Giannotti Block up in the 4th frame with a 12-pin lead. She could have increased it to 22. High on the nose. I wonder if lane 26 has a little more hook.
Boy, it sure looks like it, doesn't it? Kim was 4-pin, 4-pin. She laid that down. Boy, it really took off a little early. It looked like it hooked early. It didn't hook any harder, but instead of skidding on down to the 40, 45-foot mark, it looked like it started hooking at 35-foot, a little 5 or 6 foot sooner.
Well, Carol said wow right there, so I'm sure she was surprised. She backs it up a little bit at the 6'10", almost a little too much.
See how well, though, she killed that shot, keeping that thumb up and not allowing that hand to rotate on that 6'10". The way you miss that is you chop that 6 off the 10 by throwing too much hook.
12-pin lead for Carol Giannotti block. You saw that open there. Kim Kennedy missed a 4-pin in the third frame, a rare error. If you've just joined us, we're at Maplewood Lanes in Omaha, Nebraska. For the finals of the Omaha Open, you're watching Carol Giannotti block, and she's bowling against Kim Kennedy. Light strike. Is that maybe a little bit of adjustment off the other lane?
That's 3 strikes on the left lane, 2 spares on the right lane. She goes out around the shot here. Watch this shot. Just out around. Gets it out to the hook spot. Now here it comes. It's making the move. Catches light. Throws them pins off the wall. There you go. Hit them thin and watch them spin.
I talked to Kim Kennedy about what point she felt like her bowling career changed to professional potential.
Well, you know, she is very trained in her mind, and she knows that she got up there and she blanked out a little bit. That's not indicative of the way she plays the game, and that's why she's so hurt for herself.
Now that was a great shot.
Well, we'll say it again. She's bowling a heck of a game here. She's hit the pocket with every shot, and she's still only 8 pins down. Here comes the ball into the pocket. Carry down must be a little more today because that ball bounces a little right. See it bounce right? Therefore, it don't take the 6 into the 10.
I'm sure she's having to call on all of her mental experience right now. She works with sports psychologist Keith McConnell. She wanted to thank him, and right now she's probably using everything he's taught her about patience and attitude, really.
Yeah, breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. We talk about that a lot with sports psychologists. Focus and concentration, mindset, self-talk. What's that little voice saying inside? Talk yourself into it. Talk yourself into it. Don't talk yourself out of it.
Appears to have a little bit of over-under. Carol was coming high, and when she made a move for that, now she's light every shot.
Here she goes. She's got a beautiful 5-step delivery, a big arm swing. She gets down at the foul line, but she loses the ball just a little bit here at the bottom of the swing. Just loses it a little bit. You can see she grabbed and wristed it through instead of letting it roll. She let that one roll, though, didn't she? That's not an easy spare when your ball's not reacting right. That's why the great ones are the great ones.
Well, that was one of her keys this week, as I just mentioned earlier, was staying slow. She said, you see she has a 7-pin lead. She said that she needs to stay slow. If she gets a little bit fast, she actually, her timing gets earlier, and she loses the ball, as you just mentioned. It might have just happened there. Doesn't get anything on it.
I think she got a little soft, that one shot that hooked up a little bit high, and it scared her a little bit to get that soft. There, she's let it roll. There she let it roll. What a great shot that was. Set up that 9th frame, one to go home on. Let's see now if Kim can get up and answer the challenge here and set one up.
Kim trails by 7. She really needs to set a strike up right here. And after 3-4 pins on that lane,
made a little bump left, and the ball didn't react, so that's telling us something, isn't it? And we see that in league play all the time. It's oil carry down. The back ends have tightened up. Now, we have 5 players that practice for a long time, all playing in the same area, instead of playing different areas of the lane, so that oil carry down is very heavy down there right now.
Another unfortunate error there. Actually, not an error. I mean, it's very difficult. That happens.
She needs to gather her thoughts here. She needs to throw 2 here in the 10th to force Carol Giannotti to throw a mark in the 10th frame. She's got to force her to get a mark. Looks like she moved a little right and went a little straighter up the lane that time.
Yeah, she's definitely not seeing the ball reaction that she had all week.
So much for our prediction at the opening of the show. Huh? Shame on us. We put a little cloud over their head, huh?
Well, things will change fast. The lanes may start to open up a little bit.
Isn't that what happens in sport? She can shoot 181 if she strikes here in the 9th, then her second shot here in the 10th, and then the 12th shot.
So she needs all of them, really, to force her to mark. And pin count's important, because if she strikes here, if Carol Giannotti Block would just get 9 out, she would tie. So she needs to fill all the pins here to hope for a tie.
See what happens, though, to the champions. Here she is. She's had 2 strikes the whole game. She has to throw a double. She knows it. She gets up in the 10th frame on a lane that she's had very little success on, and she's throwing a double here. And let's see if she can fill it up with 10.
Carol Giannotti Block now needs a mark Fred. I have to ask this question. Why can they muster it up in the 10th? Where was that before? Yeah. Why does that happen?
Yeah, that's a thing that happens to the great players in their mind. They go mind over matter. They sort of block out, and they just allow, I got to hit the pocket. Let me just line up, and it becomes an instinctual thing, a subconscious thing.
And she hits white, but they're all down. It's a mark. It's all she needs. It is bowling out there. I'll often ask myself, and I'm sure many of the players do it. You know, I can do that in the 10th. Couldn't I have done that before that? But it's also a level of play that you probably can't play at for 48 games.
Well, good point. You just wear yourself out trying to play. There was a little test shot. She was...
Kim Kennedy finishing up in 5th, $2,500.
Well, she threw a little test shot there. She whipped it out a little bit earlier, hit the dry spot, and went through the nose. Now, that really didn't help her any mentally, did it? She went light, light, light. She just carried a light strike.
Beautiful spare for Carol Giannotti Block. She defeats Kim Kennedy 201 to 181. She climbs the ladder to face Marianne DeRupo right after this. We're back for our second match here at the Omaha Open. Carol Giannotti Block is taking on Marianne DeRupo. Marianne has a lot of crowd support here. Being on the telecast 3 or 4 years, you kind of develop that. Good lead break down 4 strikes on lane 25. Only 1 on 26.
You can see she sent that ball farther right, hooked it a little harder back to the pocket. That was a little better shot. She made a major change there. Now she'll bump her feet another board left, but continue to arc the ball out around that carry down and try to create an angle, a little bigger angle to the pocket, so she misses that carry down area at the 55-foot mark.
Nice and straight at the spare. Now she shot that from the left side of the lane.
Again, she didn't know for sure. Is it going to take off and hook on me, or is it going to slide? I'll just move left and left and just put it on line and throw it right at it.
Marianne, pro 5 years, 30 years old. Asking it to hold for a minute there, and it did.
So much for all those 300s that we won't have one this game, will we?
Marianne had a title in 3 consecutive years, 93, 94, 95, and did not win a title last year. So she really wants to get back on track of winning.
She's made 3 shows this year, and I think her confidence is high. She just hasn't been able to win. She tests our patience sometimes when it comes to winning. Jan, you just got to keep playing the game. As you can see, she's putting her wrist aid back on. She took it off to shoot the spare. That's a good lesson for a lot of us at home. The wrist aids firm your wrist up, but when you want to make the ball go a little straighter, you take it off, set it down, shoot the 10-pin, relax your wrist, and then put it back on for your strike ball.
228 average. But if you're going to do that, Fred, practice that at home, because when you take it off, it feels very funny. It's an odd feeling. Don't do it in the middle of your league. Practice it first.
Good point. It's not for everybody, is it?
She went high, asking it to hold again. Marianne's also mic'd, so pay attention. She may be able to commentate for us, Fred. We can sit back and enjoy the show.
Just watch this from this vantage point we have here. It was a surprise to her that ball went high there. She was in between the second and third arrow, and that ball grabbed the front part of the lane, started hooking early. It's not hooking on the back ends, but it's hooking early when you move in.
Get to, baby. Oh, she saw that coming.
Sure did. She said, get 2, baby, and she knew it. Just flipped on her and chopped that 6 right off the 10.
Carroll defeated Marianne during match play. She bowled her twice. She would have pulled her in position round then. 258 to 248, 205 to 203. Close matches. And these players look very confused. The scores this week, you didn't see this. You were able to get to the hole.
Yes. A little bit of hole left and a hook spot right, and you get a certain picture in your mind, and it's very hard to change that picture just in a half of a game, now Carroll's had a little bit more time, and that time she elected to try to go straighter up the lane, so she'll find it. These gals will find that they're just way too good.
Carroll got to this match by defeating Kim Kennedy in the first match, 201 to 181.
When you're not lined up, you keep changing, you keep working, you keep moving a little left, you move a little right, you cup your wrist a little bit, you throw it a little harder, you throw it a little slower, you lay it down a little quicker, you loft it out on the lane a little bit. When you find the combination, then light them up.
Once again, Carroll has a 12-pin lead by virtue of an open by her opponent. So she's kind of drawing the brakes here. She's breaking up splits right now.
All of a sudden, we just fill frames. Huh? Filling frames is pretty good. She look at her. She's shaking her head. She's saying, wow, I can't believe this. Same thing happens on our game that happens in golf, and we don't get enough credit, Jan. You know, the wind starts blowing. Everybody knows it and everybody sees it. But when the weather changes, Across the nation weigh 3 pounds 8 ounces, so it's not the pin weight so much, it's the pin action. Carry. It's the pin action of the pins hitting the kickbacks or the sideboards. When they hit those sideboards and they dance, you can carry a lot of strikes. Here it is again. She's right around that third arrow. The ball's just getting just a little long right there. Just get it a little long. The 6 gets trapped in the channel and don't carry the 10 out.
The pin weights do vary a little bit. Also, if you bowled, when I mentioned heavy, what I was referring to some of those tournaments where they put in especially heavy pins that are not regulation as a tournament, and then it's really interesting to try to carry.
A great Peterson Classic. Well, you could lead the whole back row there. You could throw one in the pocket and leave all kinds of strange leads because of the pin action.
Carol Giannotti is leading by 8 pins right now. Marianne's up. She has to set something up. She really needs to strike out here in the 10th.
She really does to add the pressure. And Carol's got that 9th frame strike she threw. That was a big strike to set one up to give her her own destiny in her hand. She's not struck on this lane yet. Let's see if she can do it here in the 10th. Heard her holler, hook up. She said, hook up. And the ball just didn't make the move back to the pocket. And these gals have bowled here all week long, and their eye has been trained to see it hook back to the pocket. They just can't believe that ball is coming up that soft when it gets down to the 60-foot mark.
Yeah, it's an extremely different reaction than they saw. She was talking to herself, telling herself to just spare. You know, you never know. She can shoot 183 here if she strikes. It would force Carol Giannotti Block to mark.
Right. Good count here is very important.
Never know.
You hear what she just said? You never know.
Finishes up with 183, and boy, was it a really nice 183 game.
Oh boy, 9-8 strike, 9 strike, 9-9-9-9-9 strike. What else can you do?
And she did it again. She needed a mark last match, struck.
Moved a little deeper, and she got softer on that shot. And you see how much softer she rolled that ball. That was the key that you talked about a little earlier. That last night, she said the key to her game this week was keep it soft. Deeper now. She moved left. She's got that little heavier wrist. She's cupping the ball a little more, and she's a little softer speed, so she's making that ball arc, and now it's flipping at the pocket. So she has the front end oil to hold the ball from hooking early, and then she has the softer speed to allow it to hook on the back ends.
Marianne finished up in 4th, $2,800. Now Carol's going to have an advantage here because she has figured out how to, well, almost figured out, definitely figured out how to carry anyway. Stay with us because coming up, I'll bring you a very special guest. Sit tight.
While we were away, we saw the practice shots. Leanne looks like she's going to be hard to beat unless Carol figures something out, because I don't think 2-0 or 2-team will win this match. Here we go. We're putting ourselves on the hook again.
Oh, let's not say we. I believe you are the one who said it. Okay.
Okay, I'll hang in there with that.
Hey, you called it. You know what you're doing. You know, well, you're just on today because I want to congratulate you and your wife, Sue. It's your 26th anniversary today. You want to say something to her?
Yeah. Well, we'll be home in the morning, honey. Happy anniversary at 26. We've been together 29 years. 29 solid 4-pin.
Lane breakdown was up there pretty quick. It was pretty even, 5 and 4, 5 strikes left lane 4 the right. So she struck more on the right lane this last game because it was 4 and 1 going into that game.
Exactly. See how she shoots that spare? That's a good lesson for people at home. Move to the left and go down the left side of the lane, and you're crossing less boards, so you hit oil dry. And if you have any problems at all with those left-hand spares, just move over and shoot them down the 5th arrow down the left-hand side.
But that's really if you can throw it straight. See, she defeated in match play. But, you know, because oftentimes we tell people, hey, give yourself the whole lane to shoot at it. If they're hooking at it, they really don't want to be over there on the left, do they?
Exactly. If the lanes are hooking too hard.
Well, looks like maybe she did figure something out. We're through 6 frames now. We had to bowl through 2.5 frames because of time. Leanne Barrett spared in the 4th and struck in the 5th and 6th. Carol Giannotti Block left yet another 10-pin in the 5th, spared it, and struck in the 6th. Leanne is now stepping up in the 7th frame. 29-pin lead for Leanne Barrett right now. Can increase it to 39 with another strike.
What she averaged this week, 229, 0.67. Wow, that's a lot of pins.
She knew it. Apparently she was taking a look at the rack. Took a minute. Didn't really like it, but did not ask for a re-rack. She gets 2 re-racks on television. We get 5 during the week. 2 only on TV per game.
Wrist action coming through that ball. She stayed down. Look at it. Look at it. Oh, yeah. Darn it. Yeah, I knew I didn't like that shot when I let it go.
Knew she didn't like the rack, I think. She was thinking she'd carry that.
I think you're probably right, Jan, because she threw that shot pretty darn good, I thought. Well, this is a big shot here for Carol. She got a strike working in the 6th. She had a high game of 289 this week, low game of 148. She knows how to strike. She better do one right here to get back in this match.
Hey, there it is. Finally a strike on lane 26. She's had 3 strikes this game on lane 25 and 3 9-pin counts on 26 until now.
Here she just laid it down and rolled a little softer. Now this ball grabs the lane right here. Instead of going on out to the right, it grabbed, turned up, and went flush, high flush in the pocket.
Carol trails by 18 pins. She can take that down to just 8 pins with 1 more strike.
She struck every time this game on this left lane. Let's see if she can do it again. Got a little fast. There's that speed. She needed that strike.
Got that in the oil?
Got that in the oil.
Look here, just comes light off the wall. Well, that thing almost wanted to kick backwards. That would have been an unbelievable break to kick that 2-pin backwards.
24-8. Look at the match play. I mean, 32 games now, 30 pins per win. So 24 games, she got additional 30 pins each time.
720 bonus pins. Wow, she threw that ball on out to about the 4 or 5 board, got it out a little too far right, and it couldn't hook that hard today. Watch how far out to the right this ball goes. She lost it a little off her hand. That gets all the way out there to about 5. It makes a late break and just can't get back. Comes in the back door, leaves that crazy split.
2, 4, 8, 10. Now, the way she hooks the ball, she could pick this up.
It's a very strong snapping action on the back end. You hit the 2 lead pins, and the 4 pin will carry out the 8. Didn't hook it quite hard enough.
She gave it a run. Well, she's going to want to let the thought of that go, and I talked to her about her keys to her mental game.
I'd have to say my biggest key that I use a lot is visualization. I drive from stop to stop quite often, so I think about bowling a lot as I'm driving because I have a lot of time on the road. And I try and picture my arm swing and just I use a lot of visualization like past tournaments and when I've done well, and I try to just get in a little focus, you know, and I use that a lot.
That's a great tip, Fred. You want to use your positives and remember those and let go of the negatives. You see she did it right there.
She came right back through that shot as good as you can throw it after throwing it open. But yes, you talk yourself into it through picturing the good pictures, remembering the good moments, remembering when you win, drawing on those experiences, and then you calm down and start thinking like a champion again.
And that's kind of some of the things Carol Giannotti-Block was telling us, that right now her confidence is so high that it's so much easier for her really to bowl out there because success breeds success.
Yeah, and her and Wendy rooming together, and they're throwing us back and forth. They have this routine every morning when they get up, they do a certain thing. Let's see if she can do her thing here. Ooh, little dice-o-matic shot there. Just opened that rack right up for that roll.
Okay, it's just a 3-pin match. Carol Giannotti-Block trailing by 3. We're through 9 frames. Both players have a strike in the 9th. Therefore, whatever Carol does, basically, Leanne is going to have to match.
Get it right down to the 10th frame. It's amazing how many times in our sport it comes right down to that last shot to see who can win this match.
Ooh, another light mixer.
Wow, she's elected to go ahead. I'll just play it and let it roll. See if I can carry him out of here. I'm going to do one thing. When you need a strike, there's one key. You better hit the pocket.
That's a good point. Don't do anything crazy. Hit the pocket.
That's it. Sometimes we just throw the high fastball right at them and just boom. But on this condition, throw the high fastball and it'll just slide right by the pocket. So you've got to lay it and roll it. Try to roll it to the pocket. Really laid that one and rolled it. Just set it right up. Put that carry down and just squirt it forward instead of turning.
Yeah, that hit the hole. She was a little left of the target there.
She may have learned something right there. If she can win this match, she might just be hard to beat this last match. Her eyes just saw something. She said, hey, I got a little shot in there.
Almost a fade back, fallback type shot?
A little fallback, yes.
Okay, it finishes up with a score of 228. Leanne Barrett's going to have to throw 2 strikes and 7 pins to win this match.
You got to give Carol a lot of credit there. You know, she ground out a 2-0, and then she ground out a 2-10, and then come out and shoot 228. She hit the box. She went 9 strike, 9 strike, 9 strike, 9, 3 strikes, and then finished with 9. So that was a pretty darn good game right there she just threw. It's 2 strikes and 7 to win. She just saw in the graphics.
Oh, blows the rack. I think she's thinking about keeping her arm in. She said her father, Dan Barrett, told her that she needs to keep her elbow in. He saw it on a men's telecast, and she was very thankful that he still stays in touch and helps her out. Her father's ill right now and needing a lung transplant. lung transplant. He's at the University of California.
Here is the key shot of the week for this young lady right here. She put on that one. She just couldn't roll it any heavier. Got it to come out clean at the bottom, just laid it and rolled it, and just ripped that pin. Watch this ball flip over right here. Flips and knocks that 5 right into the 7. Look at that head pin come off the wall. Look at this, down in there low. What a great knee bend this woman has. Yes, get out of there.
7 pins.
7 for the win.
She gets it. Leanne Barrett defeats Carol Giannotti. Block.
Jen, both of these ladies this week averaged 229. Both of them were 24-8 in match play. They had the best match play record, so it's probably right they're here playing for the title.
I mean, it's pretty even for Leanne, really.
4 strikes on 25, 5 on 26.
Opens with a big shot. You mentioned how close these two players were. It came right down to the 10th frame, the last shot. Wendy needed a double to stay in first place. She struck on her first shot and struck on her second. They say it wasn't the best shot, but it worked, and it got her here to the top seed position.
She knows how to knock them down.
Ooh, tough opening shot for Wendy.
She left the split in the first frame. That's the best place. You're going to have an open, have it early, get it out of the way. Get the jitters going. You know, one game this week, she had 80 in the 5th and finished the game off and shot 230.
So she went all the way off the sheet.
Yes. Struck in the 6th through the 3 and the 10th. So she knows how to strike them up. She will not let one frame bother her.
Mac keeps coming back. That'd be Wendy McPherson-Papanos, where she qualified in each of the tournaments this year and where she finished. 2 firsts you see in there.
You know, Terre Haute coming down the stretch, she shot 115 with 2 games left to play to blow herself out of the show, or she'd have made all 6 shows.
That is amazing. Right now, she's having a little difficulty out here on lanes 25 and 26 at Maplewood. Coming high with both shots.
Wouldn't surprise me to see her move it deeper, a little deeper left with her feet. Get her feet a little farther left and open the shot up and allow it to hook.
If you're wondering if 5 shows in a row is a record, it is not. 6 in a row by these 3 ladies, Lisa Wagner, Nikki G. Nulius, and Carol Giannotti. Good work by our stats people.
They just keep feeding us that information. We love it.
Doran Ballard and Lisa Cercioni.
Well, this shot here could loosen up her swing even more, and she looks pretty loose out there. She shoots through the 3 and the 10ths. Now this is 4 in a row, and here she goes. So she can take a commanding lead here early in this match. That was a loose swing roll right there, Jan. You know the feeling. You know what I'm talking about. And you get that real loose shoulder and the loose hand, and it gets off the bottom real clean with that nice roll right back to the pocket.
Well, she has to be pretty confident right now. She, as you said earlier, she is the player who has the best carry right now.
Yeah, she defeated the Wendy twice, 252 to 231, and then 278 to 245 games. So. Well, 10 pin was there again. It was a shot. She come around a little early. See her make that little gesture with her hand off the top of the ball. When your hand turns early, it gets off the top. Then you drop, you don't get the good heavy roll instead of stand down underneath and behind the ball.
Leanne's a player who doesn't really like short swings, she said. This was just a 3-week swing here. She feels like she needs to gain momentum, and right now she thinks she's just starting to. And we're going to break for 3 weeks. Good look at Jeremy Sonnenfeld and his fiancée, Jordan Leisure. Oh, did she find out she was on camera there?
I think she did, yes. A little stage right there.
It's nice that he's out here. What? Just amazing. A 900. I just...
Unbelievable. And he's such a nice young man. I'll tell you, he works a lot with Kevin Dornberger, his coach, back home. And mental game, equipment. He plays anywhere from the first board all the way into the sixth arrow. He's an accomplished player for being so young.
Just 20 years old.
Yeah.
Wow.
He has a career ahead of him. Isn't it smart, though? You know, and this week going to the shopping mall, getting something for my wife for the anniversary, I saw a thing that says, if you think education is expensive, try ignorance. I thought that was clever by Derek Bach. That was a clever statement we saw in one of the stores there. And this young man knows education is the foremost thing in his mind. Let's get that first. We'll worry about throwing strikes later.
He's going to continue bowling throughout his college career. There's a lot of scholarship money out there, Fred. I know you at your center have the American Scholarship Tournament going on. It just started this past Saturday.
Exactly. The great Dick Weber's there to throw out the first shot, and Parker Bone and P.D. Weber. And it's for young people. We're going to give away nearly $100,000 of scholarship funds.
Okay, Wendy's been high 3 shots in a row. Seems she made an adjustment there. And now coming light. It looks like the same thing we saw all the players, except Leanne, really, go through when they first came out onto the lanes.
And Leanne's down in a little bit lower. She risks a little bit more. She can get it out, and that's why her nickname is the Boomer. She can boom it back to the pocket. That looks like the shot of the day.
Well, she's going to cover her spares and hang in, keep making adjustments, and try to find something.
There's a lot of frames left. We've seen funny things happen in our sport. All of a sudden, Leanne throws a bad one. We hope she don't. We don't want to throw that black cloud over her, but there's a lot of frames left yet.
90 and 91 Player of the Year. Wendy was Player and Bowler of the Year in 96. Are both these ladies familiar with having great years?
Won the Robbie's Award in 1990. Look at this ball roll. Watch this ball. Arc out to the right. Now, see, she can get it back. The other players are having a hard time getting it to turn the corner. She gets it back and carries those off the wall.
32-pin lead right now for Leanne Barrett through 4 frames. And, Fred, this is one of the times when we can't say that, hey, you know, it doesn't matter how you release the ball, because right now it's important. Leanne is to be able to create area and create carry that the other players can't.
She's got her wrist in a strong position at the bottom, real strong, tough position. And when you do that, that hangs the fingers in the ball longer. Whoa! What a shot that was, huh?
That's the slowest I've seen a rack come down all week here.
Watch this now. Watch this swing. She creeps up on him. She got soft speed. Watch this wrist action. See that wrist just snap all the way through. Stays right down on the shot. Watch that one pin come off the wall, hits, and then twirls and knocks that nasty little 9 down.
For a big double.
That was a huge strike there with her already lead of 22. Puts her up 32 pins. And now we've even increased that lead now.
Right, she's up 43 pins.
Yeah. She's going to be feeling pretty good about herself right at this moment. We can't say enough good things about Wendy, though. Her attitude as a champion, the way she carries herself, the way she treats people. I'll tell you, she is a smart player. She watches a lot of other people's ball roll, makes adjustments before she even gets up. If she's going to bowl on another pair, sometimes she'll sneak over and watch a player that she knows and watches their ball roll and see if they made an adjustment. She'll make an adjustment before she throws her first frame sometime.
Right, she'll glance over if she sees a player was lined up on the pair they're coming off of, and the pair she's going to, they left a washout. She's going to move off that. Well, she's really, right now, finding her way to the pocket, and we've seen this, as I mentioned. Now she's going to have to find a way to carry. I just don't know if she's going to have time.
This young lady threw her first sanctioned 300 game when she was 14 years old.
Amazing. Oh, an error there. Well, will Leanne Barrett hang on? She's got a commanding lead. Stay with us. Leanne Barrett right now up in the 6th frame. Has a commanding lead. And just continues to strike.
Flipping those fours, circling the ball to the pocket. This looks like it's her tournament to win. It's just, I hear, Jen, you lead the WIBC all time, 765, 90,000 bowlers. You shot 765.
For singles, and that is leading.
Huge.
But now that'll tell you exactly what a 900 is.
Wow. Yeah, but take 135 pins off. Isn't that unbelievable? Can you imagine that?
A 4-pin, but really right now Leanne just wants to keep hitting the pocket, filling her frames.
Nines are strikes, make the spares. Those 1-pin spares are real easy. But you know what happens? If we notice today, we had a couple of 1-pin spare misses. When your ball reaction is missing the pocket, then you start getting confused on how much your ball's hooking. Pretty soon you miss a spare here or there.
And that appears to be what's been happening out there. Gail Ramsey, that's our tournament director's wife. Happy 50th birthday. June 2nd is her 50th birthday. She handles our Adopt-A-Pro program for the Players Association. And she's out here most weeks, also sometimes sells souvenirs for the Ladies Pro Bowlers Tour. As I was saying, Wendy was saying all of her choices have been right, or guesses are right, or ball choices are right, or adjustments have been good. If they weren't, it'll only take about 2 frames. Tonight, all that seems to be going away for her this one game.
Yeah, well, you know, anything can happen in one game. I'm sure she's not going to allow it to bother her. She's made all these shows. She's having a very successful run. She'll just put it behind her and go on about her business. Ooh, there's a little love tap on that 10.
You know, it's so hard, though. I mean, to bowl so good all week. And you come out here, and I know it's hard for people to understand at home. Here's a good look. Look how good she did bowl. 3, 5, 3, 2, 2, 1. Those are her positions throughout the week by round. And people view this telecast and say, you know, how could she have bowled all that? But they don't often understand how much different the condition is out there right now.
Exactly. You said a mouthful right there, Jen. When the condition changes, and that will happen under the lights. The lights, a lot of times, what it does, it flattens the oil out. Oil has air bubbles in them, but when we put hot lights on them, it pops the air bubbles and flattens the oil out like the Dead Sea. And therefore, we get a little different condition on television than they played on all week long. You know what we'd like to say, Jen, when I interrupted you there rudely a second ago, is the people out there, the audience that are listening, come out and bowl in the Pro-Ams. You can get a lot of good information from our pros. They don't mind giving instruction during the Pro-Am. They're there for you to help you. And obviously, they want to bowl good, but they want to help you with your game. So sign up for those Pro-Ams and come out and play with these great players.
Yeah, we have a great time. That's one of the greatest parts about being on tour, is getting to meet so many different people as you travel around the country. And that's really when you have a chance to talk to them.
We are a number of titles as of... We have now 16 titles. This will be number 17.
Yeah, she had 3 already from the number 2 spot.
Yeah, again, getting back to that Pro-Am thing, what other sport can you go out and play with the best in the world? Face-to-face and sit on the bench and talk to them between shots. What a way to learn information.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And Wendy finally strikes all right. The crowd is happy to see that for her. You know, as we travel around, and we talked about Marianne having all the crowd support here, she gains that through her Pro-Ams, and she stays around and talks to the people. I have several people I've met, and actually they've invited me. I stay at their homes now if we go there. You know, Winnie and Larry Himmel in Alexandria, and Steve and Carm Donato in Delaware, and they keep inviting me back, and it's a wonderful thing to get to know people like that.
Really is. You know, and then you play in the Pro-Ams, you also get a bowling ball, most of these Pro-Ams, and in some cases, the entry fee is less than the price of a ball. So you get a bowling ball, you get to play with the best in the world, you get a chance to win the money, plus you get a chance to get instructions and have a good time. Wow. Sign me up, Jen. Where do I sign up?
And you'll get to see Fred Borden, because he's going to come bowl our Pro-Ams now. Okay, Wendy's finishing out. Finishes in second place, $5,000. Great performance. What a year for this lady so far, especially coming off of being Player and Bowler of the Year. Sometimes that pressure is hard to take the next year out. It's not affecting her.
She's got to be wore out. She's got to be a very tired lady, making that many telecasts in a row, bowling that many match plays. But, you know, she also gets some great incentive money from the bowling ball companies. And these ladies, the incentive is a big part of the income, not only the prize fund, but in some cases they get some real nice incentive when they make telecasts.
That's a good point, Fred. That's money that's not seen always in our finishing position.
Thank God for those ball companies, huh?
Now Leanne with a fine performance.
She can have a duplicate here, huh? She had 228. She had $9,000 here. Well, the people here are awful friendly. They've got a great group. Come in here every day. Here she goes. There's no 228, 228. She says, no, I'm shooting 238. That was quite a game. She strikes here. She throws 9 strikes, 3 9-pin counts. Hit the pocket every time. There went our 300, Jan. That was a one. We just
that was
carry,
it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Boy, I'll tell you, what a surprise that the scores were a little lower today.
Bonus money was given out this week, $100 to every lady that rolled a 300 game. That was courtesy of Ted Bear and the Omaha Lancers. We appreciate that.
Look at that.
Well, Leanne Barrett is the champion of the Omaha Open for 1997. We'll be back with her presentation of her award. And there she is, the winner of the 1997 Omaha Open, Leanne Barrett. Congratulations. And here to present a trophy, John Badiato, the co-proprietor here at Maplewood Lane.
Thank you very much. Leanne, I'd like to present you this crystal bowl here. And if you come back next year and win, I'll have another one just like it. Okay?
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Then I'll take it back.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
Good.
Okay, and the other co-proprietor, Jeannie Bielitz, with the check. Excuse me.
There you go. Congratulations. Use this for your new home. Thank you.
This will go to great use for my new house. I've recently moved back to California, and I'm saving it. It's going in the bank.
You made him look easy. How'd you do it?
I had a great ball reaction. Our player services, Tony Hall, drilled me this ball last night, and it's wonderful. I can't thank him enough. It worked great last night and great tonight. And I'd just like to thank everybody here in Omaha.
Congratulations once again to Leanne Barrett, the newest champion.